Hey, welcome back to another episode. We are going to talk today about how to create contact forms that convert. So let's dive in. Look, no matter what kind of website you have, whether you sell products or services, or even you're just more focused on informational, your contact forms are so imperative to make sure that people can get in touch with you. After all, your contact page is probably one of the most important pages on your website, but it tends to be the most neglected. You don't want to just throw any old form on that page and forget it, or even worse yet, throw a phone number and maybe an email address and no form altogether. While 76% of people still like picking up that phone, a lot of people prefer to start the interaction with filling out a form. So you want to make sure it's super easy for them to do so you don't scare them off. So first things first, what do you include on that contact page? So with your contact page, you want to have your contact form, obviously, and we'll talk a little in a minute here about what to include, what kind of fields you want to include in that contact form. So for many of us, including the socially awkward people like myself, that contact form is a lot less, how do I put this nicely? That contact form is a little less intimidating than picking up a phone and calling. So we like that to have that available, but a lot of people, like I said, still like to pick up that phone. So on your contact page, you also want to make sure that you have a phone number listed for your business that you actually answer or can at least check messages. You also want to make sure that you have your address or physical location if you have an office where people can come find you. This not only helps your potential clients know where you are, it also tells Google where you're located and where to target information for your business. Now, these two things, we've talked a little bit about this before in another video, but you want to make your phone number a click to call link so that you can go in there and on a mobile device, click it and it auto dials that for you. It just removes a barrier for your clients to have that be a click to call. And another pro tip is to make your address, if you have an address available, link to your Google Maps location page. This means if someone's on a mobile device, they can click that link, they open Google Maps, they go right to the driving directions. So those are three things that are really important. I'd also recommend, if you have it, if it makes sense, to put your business hours on there as well. All of those just help make things really simple for people who are coming to your website to find everything they're going to need in one central location. So form, phone number, address, and business hours. Now, if you're a solopreneur or a coach and you don't want to put your phone number, especially your cell phone number, out on the internet, what I highly recommend doing is getting a Google Voice number. If you have a regular Gmail account, that's actually free. Or with a Google Suite business account, it's only $10 a month. This number lets you forward directly to your phone. That's how mine works. It forwards to my cell phone. It tells me that it's a Google Voice number that's calling, and they have to answer who it is first. It also lets me get voicemails from clients, so I can, and it automatically transcribes those. So if I'm in a meeting on another call or can't answer the phone, I can still get those messages, and people can even text it as well. Okay, so what about the contact form fields that you need on your website? Now, I really want you to think about this as short and sweet. You don't want to give people so many form fields to fill out that they're going to walk away because it's too much effort. So it kind of depends on your business, but for every single contact form, I highly recommend you ask for the name first and last, an email address, and you make both of those required. That means that you can actually get back in touch with them when they filled out your form. And then give them a message box so they can tell you whatever it is they want to tell you that they're interested in. Now, depending on your business, you can always add a couple extra fields, but I would make those not required, make those optional. So if it doesn't fit their needs for whatever reason, then you don't have to worry about alienating someone because they can't fill out that field. So let's take a look at a couple of my clients' websites. Now, this one is a local gym. And you can see on their form page, we have their address. It is not linked. That's on me. You have their linked phone number though, and their business hours. And look at their form field here. So first and last name, their phone, their email, because sometimes my client really wants to just be able to call them back, but the email is required, as is the name. And then they can type here what they're interested in, whether it's boxing classes themselves, MITS training, personal weights and nutrition, conditioning, or youth, because they do have some youth programs. And then, of course, a CAPTCHA to ensure that anyone who's filling out this form is an actual human. It's funny, a lot of my clients do unfortunately get spam form submissions. So a simple CAPTCHA like that cuts down on those. Now, granted, if there's a real person behind that spamming email messages that you're getting, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do there. But having some fields required and having a CAPTCHA can cut those down immensely. That way, you're only getting the forms emailed to you that are actually the ones that you want. Okay, so you have your form, you have your contact page. Now, did you know that one of the best ways to ensure that your contact form converts is what happens after they fill out the form? That's almost as important as getting everything set up correctly beforehand. Now, of course, one of the big things is you want that form to be sent to you, because if you don't know that you got it, you're not going to be able to answer, right? So of course you want it to email to yourself, but you also want to make sure that they know when they filled out that form that it's been done correctly. So you can do a simple confirmation message, but depending on your form, I actually highly recommend that somebody goes to a secondary page that basically says, hey, we got your contact form, and you want to do a couple of things with this. One, you want to set client expectations. So how long does it typically take you to respond to an email that you get on your website? For most people, it's within 1 to 2 business days. If you, for whatever reason, you have a little longer lead time, let them know. So say we're reviewing your email and we'll respond back within that time frame. That sets expectations and just makes people happier. You can also send them on to your free resources like your blog or a lead capture or something else that might help them in the meantime. Now, I also recommend that if you do have a phone number, you put it there on that confirmation page. So it just tells them, hey, if you need something more immediately, you can pick up the phone and call us right now, and somebody will be able to help you. Now, personally, I actually also like to send a confirmation email to them as well, so they know that we got their email, that it resets those expectations just in case they closed and they didn't see that confirmation page. You can put all of that on the email as well. And if you want, you can give them a copy of what they said in their message so they have that for their own records. It just makes everything a little easier so everybody has been communicated to. Now, this all kind of probably sounds like a lot, but it actually can be really easy, especially if you have a WordPress website. So you can make contact forms and do all of the things I talked about with a plugin called Gravity Forms. This is a plugin that makes contact forms the easiest I've ever used. It's a drag and drop interface, and you can make some really killer complicated forms in Gravity Forms if you wanted to. But you can also set the confirmation page, confirmation notices, send it to multiple people. And so more people have that contact email that comes through. You can even have it text to your phone if you would like. And you can even field those contact forms into MailChimp or another email service provider. Now, I will caution you that you do not want to just take your regular contact form fields, the people that are just coming into you for inquiries, and send those off to an email service provider. That's a little sketchy. But if you do have a lead capture or something else like that, where you give them an option to check whether or not they want to receive email from you and promotional email potentially, you can add that condition. And if they say yes, they're willing to learn more or learning to get more information from you, then you can send those emails on to MailChimp. Now, following the steps that I've gone through in this video and using a powerful plugin like Gravity Forms, I'm able to create website forms simply and easily and make them convert. And that form that I showed you at Rebel Boxing, they actually had 10 qualified leads come in their first 10 days of their website being live. That's a lot. They were able to generate $4,200 in revenue from those contact form leads in just 10 days. So real quality things here that you can take and go apply to your website. And if you have any questions, of course, drop those in the comments below and check back next week as we talk about mistakes solopreneurs and coaches make in their website.